This is I guess, a very, very exciting interview because we've had this gentleman on before, but this is one of those special interviews because of what he's doing.
Yeah, a very special interview. We've had him on the show before. Mr. Reggie Owens of Light Bright Publication is here with a special message and mission that he's got going on. So we're super excited to have you on today. Thanks for coming out, Reggie.
I appreciate being on the show and appreciate talking to both of you gentlemen.
Likewise. So yeah, when we first did our first podcast together, that was late last year, and
Hmm.
Light Bright as a company was really growing and doing some really cool things. Tell us about right now the current initiative that you have going. There's a really exciting campaign that you're putting on, and
Right,
I'd love to
right.
hear about
So we're actually one of our best-selling books, The Love of Squirrel. We're actually looking to turn that book into an audiobook project, and we're looking as a fundraiser. So we're actually doing a crowdfunding campaign to raise money to turn that book into an audiobook project and make it more expansive and digestible for the listening audience.
That's awesome. An audiobook. So we talk with a lot of writers all the time, Neil, right? And writing is usually the next step. But what inspired you to start the audiobook now, right?
So after we initially published The Love of Squirrel, we got a lot of feedback about people wanting more detail, people wanting more nuances, people wanting more expansive characters. And I thought the best way to give that to people is to create an audio book. You can hear all the sounds, you can hear every tone, you can hear you can really be immersed in the world that is a level scroll and what each and every character is going through. You get to hear direct sounds directly from the character, and it
Mm,
brings you more into that world of a level scroll.
Yeah, and I think that people just love audiobooks. And Reggie, I think that's
mhm.
where you were thinking, how can I get a more larger audiences, get people to listen to the audiobook because people have more time to listen to audio versus read it.
Right, right. Well, as both of you gentlemen know, we in a busy world that's always constantly moving. Everyone's busy, everyone's on the go. So maybe everyone doesn't have 20, 30 minutes to devote to reading the paperback book. With the audio book, it ensures them that they get great content, they're entertained, they'll learn something, and it also provides a bigger platform for Lightbright as a company and as a whole. So that was the thought
Yeah.
process. Queen
I find it
Cream.
really interesting that you're taking the same story, putting it in a different medium, and it almost becomes an entirely different experience, right?
Well, it definitely does because, like I said, you're reading words on a page from the original paperback, and that engulfs you in one story. But to hear the actual voices of each character, to hear their tones, to hear the sound effects, it provides a different and total different experience for the reader or the listener.
And you
Right.
talked about Reggie before the success of just the book. That really has led to the publishing company. So when you think about specifically enough the audience of people that have read the book, you're really excited they get the opportunity to listen to the audio side.
Well, I'm excited for a number of different reasons. Yes, for people who read the book, this adds a different layer to the Lover's Quarrel story that they may have not considered or thought about. But also for those people who don't read paperbacks and strictly listen to audiobooks, this opens up the Lover's Quarrel and Light Bright and the story itself to a whole new audience. That's what I'm mostly excited about.
Wow. Yeah. And there's also a special social mission that's associated with your crowdfunding campaign too, right?
Yeah, definitely. So in regards to the crowdfunding campaign, we're actually going to donate a percentage to Literacy Chicago. They're a nonprofit organization that helps in the fight against adult literacy. And having our partnership with Literacy, we want to give back to our communities, and everybody should have a basic human right to read. So from a more social standpoint, we felt that would they're more than deserving. So we're looking to donate a percentage to Literacy Chicago.
I love it. That's so important. And I think you're really promoting the side of how important it is to learn to read and how we have to smash this literacy rate, because reading has a lot of prediction, Reggie, where you end up in life is if you learn to read.
Yeah, I mean, reading is fundamental. If you
Right.
can't, you can't navigate through life if you trying to get from street A to street B Well, you need to be able to read the street signs. If you're trying to just do basic fundamental things, whether it's banking, whether it's, shopping, you need to be able to read. If you can't read, it really act as a handicap and a hindrance to your daily life and just progression and your growth as a person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the especially now with AI, right, and the advent of new technologies that are going on. We just had a lovely young lady earlier talk about the idea that people are doing a big cognitive load offload when it comes to reading and digesting information and relying on technology rather than relying on their true critical and reading and comprehension skills. Um, as part of the larger mission, you'll be helping donating to Literacy Chicago. Um, what other groups do you hope to touch by releasing this audio book? Um, we know that Light Bright is also focused on enabling underrepresented voices in the publishing space. Can you talk a little bit more about how this audio book is going to help also provide other opportunities for other underrepresented voices in the
So,
space?
so with Light Bright, one of our core values is definitely providing a platform and a lane for undiscovered authors. I kind of always look at it like this. When we think about undiscovered authors, it's kind of like that hidden treasure, that hidden gem, and it's not that it's not valuable, but you just haven't discovered it yet, and you don't see the value in it until you actually find it. So there's many, undiscovered authors in our communities, and that's the whole purpose of Lightbright, giving them a lane, giving them a platform to share their stories. As you know, we went ahead and published Stone Love, Chris. So we went ahead and published
Right.
Stone Love. This is one of our undiscovered authors, and it was definitely a story of perseverance, struggle, and just a look into Chicago history. You wouldn't be surprised the stories people have. Everyone has a story, and it's just about providing that platform to share that story, and that's what Lightbright does.
Amazing.
And
Um,
I think that your authors are going to be really excited about the opportunity once you do the audiobook that more people are going to move forward with audiobooks.
Right, right. Because this will also create a lane for them. Some people have, want to do audiobooks. People want to do ebooks. So it'll provide more options for our authors and our clients to not just stick to one specific type, which is paperback, to publish their books. It'll open up an array of options, and it'll give them experiences that they didn't have before, whether it's, voice over acting, recording, editing. So it creates various different skills for various different people when you open up the lane.
am I hearing you correctly when so far when I hear you say it's like not only can you help me now write the book, but this current audiobook experience that you're building is setting the stage for you to provide audiobooks for other writers in your business. Is that
That,
right?
that's that's correct. We want to have an array of different options for our clients.
Amazing.
We don't just want to stick to paperback. If someone wants to do an audiobook, if someone wants to do an ebook, we want to be that stepping stone and that platform to get that book out in whatever form medium they use and be able to share that story with the world.
No, that's awesome. And I think that's super incredible that you're gonna be a support system for all of these underrepresented authors and hidden gems, right? And believing in them when the big publishers might turn them down, right? Um,
Right.
so with the crowdfunding campaign, the idea is to make some really big impact. What are some of those high level fundraising goals or targets that you guys have that you're hoping to achieve?
So we're looking at a goal of $15,000 for the total project. It's going to last 60 days, and that is going to start on July 24th, 2025. So in about a little more than 2 weeks from now. So we're really excited about it. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, something I always wanted to do. And I also look at so many people that can help us. It'll definitely reach out to a bigger audience, to people learn more about Light Bright, people learn more about what we do. And this are also being, I'm thinking about this also inspires so many other people to continue to write, continue to publish, and continue to get those stories out there. So I'm super excited about the crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, and you have another also announcement that's part of that campaign too, right? There, there's a certain launch event that you have going on?
Yeah, so actually, we're actually going to have a launch party for the event. So that actually is going to be on that date I just mentioned before, July 24th, 2025 at 3521 South King Drive here in Chicago. So if you are in the Chicago area, definitely come. You could definitely look us up. You can definitely check out our Instagram at LB underscore publication underscore LLC. It'll have all the information there. And you can click the link to get your ticket and support the crowdfunding campaign.
Amazing. With the crowdfunding campaign, right? I've worked with several different types of campaigns, and becoming an early backer has a couple different perks. Walk us through what it means to donate to the campaign and some of those benefits that you get as being an early
So
supporter.
we got some really exciting benefits. For example, one of the benefits you'll get is that you'll get an autograph exclusive limited edition hardback copy of The Lover's Quarrel. So most of our books came in paperback form, but people who donate to a specific tier will get that specific will get that limited edition hardback paper, copy of The Lover's Quarrel. You'll also get exclusive content, special Q&A interviews with the cast for the audiobook. You'll be a chance to meet the founders and owners of the company, myself included. You'll get exclusive behind the scene information, and we're gonna have an exclusive after launch party that is only for a special few. So if you want to be an exclusive company, that is one of the tiers that you'll need to back and support.
Yeah, it sounds like an amazing also sponsorship potential opportunity as well too, right? If I'm a company that cares about literacy, either in Chicago or abroad, I should come out and support the campaign.
Definitely. Finally got our confirmation last week from BMO. BMO Bank is gonna sponsor the event.
Oh,
The
wow,
District of
amazing.
Chicago is gonna sponsor the event, and then we also in talk with a few other companies about sponsoring the event as well.
Fabulous stuff that's happening. And Reggie, I guess what is your ultimate goal for the fundraising and then also moving forward with the publishing company?
So the ultimate goal once we receive the fund obviously is to release the audiobook for our clients. But we're looking to take some of these stories and take them in a bigger on a bigger stage, plays, movies. We're looking to broaden it out and take some of these stories and move them onto a bigger medium where they'll reach a bigger and better audience. Fresh and new stories, original stories. So we're looking to, like I said, turn that into movies and convert those to plays and movies and reach a bigger audience.
I love
Yeah,
it.
that's incredibly exciting. Yeah, I know when we first were working together, one of the big things that you talked about was eventually making movies from
Right.
the different stories that you guys are putting together, and love to see that a vision is starting to evolve right before our eyes. So that's really fun.
Thank
Um, I guess from people that are listening to a podcast now, and maybe they've written a book but haven't necessarily started their audiobook experience. What are maybe some key insights that you want to leave them so far, that what you've learned in terms of this audiobook journey that you're on right now?
So definitely one of the first things you need to do is have your budget, because figure out how much you want to spend, and then from that point, do some research in terms of finding the appropriate recording studio for you, because a lot of times there's studio time recording for the actual recording and the editing, and you want to take, and usually they pay per hour, so you want to take that into consideration in terms of how much you want to spend, how much it's going to cost, how much the overall cost, and then in that process think about the various distribution channels that you want to promote that audiobook. Do you want to just do it independently? Do you want to go on a platform like Audible? Do you want to leave it to a marketing company? So just kind of think about your budget and what you're looking to spend and provide for your clients.
Because that's key. That if they don't know where it goes and test it to market, which Christopher talks about all the time on the podcast, is who's your audience? Who do you know are the ideal people to buy the book?
Right.
Reggie, you provide that in your consultation as well when authors are looking to write a book.
Correct. Correct. Definitely. We definitely, as we hear from different authors and we hear about their books, we tend to say, okay, this would be best or sort of for people who want to, like for example, one of the books that we publishing is a cookbook. So we're looking towards restaurants, we're looking towards foodies, we're looking towards food influencers,
Yeah.
people who love to eat. So we typically want to tailor the audience versus what the product is.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, no, this is really exciting stuff, Reggie. And we could tell you've been in the lab cooking up quite a few things. We got the audio book, got the crowdfunding campaign, the launch party. All of it's really exciting things. Um, what are some other ways that people can help support your mission other than the crowdfunding campaign? You're actively making an impact to local communities. Who are some of those partners and organizations that you want to start working with more closely? That
So we've like I said before, we've already been working with Little Chicago. We
Mhm.
also looking to work with like any local schools. Urban Prep is one of the schools we've been in talks with. We've been looking for Inglewood Rage is a non-for-profit local organization in the Inglewood neighborhood. We've been working with them as well as various different libraries. We've been looking to talk to them, but we're looking for places where people do enjoy reading, like to read, and looking to get that message out there that reading, writing is still important. It still has its place in the world and can be a lucrative business.
Exactly. Because you never know who that next writer you're going to form.
Right. And you
Eh,
never know who's gonna read, who's gonna see that book and want to
Right.
turn it into something a much bigger and better. You never know who you're inspiring. So my advice, just get the message out there, put your book out there, put your story out there, and you'll see amazing things happen.
Yeah. So one thing that me and Neil were talking about is, when it comes to artists, or not artists, but writers themselves, getting the manuscript, then getting an actual book published. Those are sort of one-time events, but can you talk about sort of like what happens after you publish the book? And what's the sort of what you found the best way to market yourself as an early author, and in a space that you might not be well known in yet? Can you
So
talk a little bit more about that?
yeah, so what's been a good success for me? Definitely the launch party to let people know that the book is here. Book signings have been pretty good. Participating in different vendor events, even if it's not quote unquote book centered or literature centered, just
Right.
participating in those events with your book allows you to go reach a different market, different target audience, people who may not even be considering writing your book. I mean, reading your book may want to consider purchasing. And then a lot of pop-up shops. A lot of people, especially when
Hmm.
it be summertime, people are
Exciting.
doing pop-up shops and pop-ups all over the city, whether it's by the lake, whether it's by downtown, whether it's near festivals or participating in different vendors events, participating, putting your name out there and putting yourself out there and constantly doing that, you eventually will gain a following and you will gain people that want to support you if you stick with it.
Right. Yeah, I think that post marketing is so important, and um, I think a lot where a lot of artists writers may lack is having like a dedicated partner to help them navigate that post marketing process. And
Right,
Lightbright right now actively does that, full in service, right?
right,
Not
right.
only are we going to help you write and publish the book, but also do a lot of the post marketing. Um, you talk about those offerings now that you're doing for post marketing for your clients now.
So we do offer the post marketing, like we handle the social media, we handle in terms of creating the trailers or the all of the marketing material for our clients in terms of, hey,
Great.
new book is coming. Hey, we might put a
yep.
teaser out there saying 2 weeks we got something special to show you, just to kind of create that curiosity, to create that buzz around. Oh, okay, Light Brothers, what they got going on? Or, people that is following us on social media, they want to hear about the new projects that's coming around. So flyers, posters, working with going on the radio, doing podcasts like it's like these, promoting on social media. It's all goes into the marketing, creating that buzz and working with people. I mean, creating that buzz and um, creating that buzz for the book and building up that loyal fan base.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's important because once they know it And Reggie, also, we have merch now, t-shirt people that I'm working with. So if you've not had that t-shirt set up yet, we have it over here.
Okay.
What we're doing to give it the opportunity instead of going to a third party you don't know, have somebody that's going to already market that for them and create the design, do all those things for authors. Really excited about that. That's with No Sleeve Nation.
Okay.
So that's going to be another big opportunity. Like I said, all the things that are coming out in 2025, it's a banner first 6 months, and who knows what's going to happen in the last six of
Right.
2025 going into 2026. Christopher, anything else to add about Reggie? I mean, I really love the whole thing where he's giving back to Chris.
Yeah, I think that social mission is so important, and you don't see a lot of organizations really. Uh, uh, it's all more of an afterthought, but right in terms of that impact. But you're starting with that. That's the core of your mission and what you do there at Lightbright. So
Mhm.
we can only commend you for helping improve the literacy of it here in Chicago and beyond, because Lord knows we
Exactly.
need it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate this being recognized, and I appreciate the gratitude. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Beautiful. Well, any other announcements from Lightbright or any other pieces that you want to share with our audience today before we wrap up?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, we look the crowdfunding is going about 60 days. We're having that launch party July 24th, and we'll be constantly sending out updates. We'll constantly be getting out information. And once after the launch party, be on the lookout because we got a special video coming out for you guys, and I know everybody's gonna love it. So you can definitely check us out at our Instagram at LB_publication_LLC.
All right. Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. And go to
Thank you so much.
uxbright.com to schedule a call, Chris, today.